Good morning. It is Tuesday, November the 19th. My name is Chris Paul. I am the CEO of Hercules Metals. And today we've decided that we are going to bring back a video series that we used to do, basically where we just go through a news release that was particularly important and we just break it down. Today's release, very splashy, very good headline number, but there's some other things going on behind the scenes that are also getting us potentially even more excited than just the headline number alone. So let's get into that and let's talk about what exactly it is that's geologically so interesting about what we just hit here. So hole 12 intersects 338 meters of 0.47 copper with mineralization increasing at depth and to the north. Okay, so that's huge. This is important. This is important because we've got two different separate events, separate mineralizing events that have happened here. We got our porphyry copper system, which is 205 million years old. But then sometime after this system formed, there was a second pulse. There was another pulse of mineralization that came through. And this is what we call the secondary enrichment blanket, because it forms a blanket geometry of higher grade enrichment minerals at the top of the system. And so, this is basically a layer of bornite and chalcocite and higher grade copper minerals that's just enhancing the grade, at the top of the system. The primary target, however, remains, the primary system, the original porphyry copper system. So outside of this grade enhancement, we're looking for the porphyry center. We're looking for the center of the system because A, that's going to have its own high-grade core, and B, that's where the biggest tonnage is going to be. That's where we're looking for, the real big tons. We're looking for that vertically extensive, hundreds and hundreds of meters of potentially higher grade, bornite and chalcopyrite that we might find in our primary hypogene core. Okay, so what has happened here with hole 12, and the reason we're so excited about it, is it went through the secondary enrichment blanket. We got that nice bornite, that nice chalcocite, we got that. And then we were in phyllic alteration, as we typically are. But as this hole went down, the alteration started to get better. So we actually improved from phyllic, and we saw higher temperature alteration as it went down. So we basically went into what we call biotite alteration. So this isn't the potassic core, this isn't the high-grade core, because the potassic, the inner potassic core is going to have two other minerals with it. It's going to have potassium feldspar, right, which is a salmon pink mineral, and it's going to have magnetite, which is magnetic. These are two very easily diagnostic minerals. So, we've got the biotite, we've got one of three, and that's a huge development because, we've actually we found the direction, to head towards, right? And A, that's deeper, and B, that appears to be to the north, right? So let's look at figure 2. Let's go to this cross section. Let's talk a little bit more about what we're seeing here. Okay, so we've cut a north-south cross section, and what we're seeing are a couple things. So another thing that I'm going to mention here, we talked about this in the news release, is a late porphyry intrusion. So porphyry copper systems always start with an early porphyry intrusion, an early mineral intrusion. And this early mineral intrusion, we have not found this yet. But these things are known to bring upwards of 90% of the copper to the system. Is all brought in with this first early mineral intrusion, right? And they're going to typically be the highest grade. That's going to be the center. And it's going to shoot mineralization out into the volcanic wall rocks all around it. And of course, the further away from it you get, the lower the grade is going to get. In other parts of the system, the magmatism doesn't stop there. You are going to get later pulses of magma that are going to come in, but because you've already spent 90% of your copper in the first one, that high-grade early mineral intrusion that we are looking for, the next, we call them late porphyry intrusions because they're not bringing a lot of copper with them. So in this case, we've identified a late porphyry intrusion. And the reason we know it's a late porphyry intrusion is simple. Just look at the grades on this cross section. Okay, so any of these holes, you know, they'll start in the enrichment blanket, they'll go down into that phyllic alteration, and then the grade will drop. Okay, so we go from volcanic rock with, you know, decent grade into late porphyry with low grade. And then notice all three of those holes, 21, 8, and 11 there, they all come back out of that late porphyry at the bottom. And what happens? The grade shoots back up. Another really important thing that we're seeing in this cross-section that gets us really excited for the Grade Creek zone is notice at the bottom of all these holes, once they've gone through the late porphyry, and now they're just in the host rock, right? You're in that volcanic host rock. What is happening as we move to the north is the grade is slowly going up. And so you look at 2321, the volcanics were about 0.3 copper. Then you look at 2308. Oh, now all of a sudden the volcanics are 0.37. 2411, they're 0.44, right? So it's, you know, the volcanics are getting better to the north, right? The volcanics are just, they were always there from day one, right? And they are clearly telling us that they are getting closer to something. They are probably getting closer to the early mineral intrusion. And then you get 2412, right? And just look at those grades in the volcanics at depth. You can see they've increased, right? So you've gone through the enrichment blanket, you've gone into the phyllic, and then the grade has really shot up at that last 154 meters. Okay, so we've got a target zone here. And our target zone is to the north, and it's towards this Grades Creek area. So, and it's towards this Grades Creek area. So if we now look at some of these later figures, okay, so let's look at figure 4 and figure 5. We've got a magnetic anomaly, which if you're looking for the early mineral intrusion with the interpotassic core, you're looking for magnetite. You're looking for a magnetic high. And Grade Creek has a circular, cylindrical shaped magnetic anomaly. Pretty good place to target. Look at figure 5. We have been drilling pretty broad area of high chargeability. We got lots of sulfide. We got lots of pyrite. Pyrite is the most chargeable mineral. Okay. But as we move north up into Grade Creek, you notice there's a really, really large area of pretty moderate chargeabilities, kind of stuff you'd expect in a lower sulfide core where you're dealing with higher grade minerals like bornite, and you're not looking at all that pyrite that we've been seeing in some of these other holes to the south. So basically, to summarize what we're seeing here is we've got a, you know, the first hole ever where the grade is actually increasing as we go down. Okay, we've got a trend of several holes along a north-south section that are clearly showing that volcanic rocks are getting stronger. They're getting more mineralized, they're getting more altered, and the temperatures are going up to the north. As we look to this blue sky to the north that we haven't yet tested, we've got a magnetic anomaly, and we've got the most prospective chargeability. So we're very excited to move into the Grade Creek zone and potentially find the early mineral intrusion that we've been looking for. Stay tuned for more updates in the near future.